Hello everyone. Today I'm going to deal with a very difficult question. What are atoms and why do they form ions? This is a very difficult question for many to understand. For this, you have to first come to the basic thing which is called what is the aim of an atom? When a newborn atom comes into this world, into its existence, what is the aim of this atom eventually? A newborn atom, you have to understand, a newborn atom is blessed with as many electrons as it has protons. So a newborn atom has got same number of electrons and protons. But what is its aim? To have the same number of electrons and protons? No, this is not the aim of this atom. An atom just wants to become stable. How? An atom can become stable if this atom is following this octet rule. Now, what is this octet rule? More and more new words. Very confusing, right? Let me make it a little easier for you. Octet rule. An atom says, okay, just listen to this while keeping this atom in your mind. A newborn atom comes having same number of electrons and protons. But then it wants to become stable, and right now this atom is not stable. So it is going to achieve its octet rule. To achieve this octet's rule, this atom says that my last shell should have either 8 electrons or I'm okay to have no electrons at all. Yes, atoms are not greedy, dear. They just want either full last shell filled with 8 electrons or they are okay with having no electrons there at all. And this is how they achieve octet rule. Okay, simple. So this atom who is formed in this world or wherever this atom is existing, it just wants to become stable. And how will it become stable? If its octet rule is achieved. And this octet rule is having 8 electrons. Octa means 8. Octagon. Just remember, octagon is having 8 sides. I'm sure you can relate this word called octagon to octet here. So octet rule says 8 electrons in the last shell of this atom, or this atom is absolutely fine with, having no electron there at all. It is ready to achieve this just to become stable. So this atom is now going to gain or lose or share electrons so that this octet rule is achieved. Now, why does this atom, shares or gains or loses electron? Because electron is the currency of an atom. You have to understand that in what currency does an atom deal? It deals in terms of electrons. For you, currency is rupee in India. If you go outside India, the currency will be different. But for an atom, wherever this atom is existing, the currency is only electrons. So it is in terms of electron that this atom is actually trying to achieve its octet rule, which will make it stable. And that is how this atom is going to make an ion. Now let us understand when does an atom gains, when does it lose, or when does it share electrons, its currency, to become stable. Now consider the following cases, children. There is this atom having one electron in its last shell. Consider the first case. Now there is this atom, uske last shell mein there is just one electron. Now what do you think to become stable this atom is going to do? See, it has got only two choices. Either this atom can gain 7 electron or it can lose 1 electron to achieve its octet rule. Octet rule says last shell can have 8 electrons or it is absolutely fine having no electron there at all. So either this atom will gain 7 electrons or it has to give away this 1 electron. What do you think is more easy? Gaining 7 or losing 1? Of course, losing 1 electron is going to be much more easier for this atom than, somebody else donating 7 electrons to this atom. So an easy bargain is let's just get rid of this particular electron present in the last shell and become stable. Such atoms have a valency of +1. That is, by giving away 1 electron, they get a charge of +1 on them. And this is how first ion is formed, like your sodium ion, hydrogen ion, potassium ion. Okay, all of these atoms, they had 1 electron in their last shell, which they very conveniently lost. and they developed this positive charge. So now how to remember? Okay, again, positive or negative charge. See, children, I can just relate it to a very simple fact that when you give something to someone in need, you are giving away something, which belongs to you. When you are giving away something to someone else, this is a positive trait. Okay. But when you ask for something, some favor or anything, you ask your aunt, give me this game or that game. I'm sure that's something your parents must have told you that's not a good idea. It should not be done. So when you ask something from someone, it's a negative trait in you. Similarly, when an atom gives away electron, giving is positive and taking, you know, taking things from someone else is negative. You can use this basic logic in considering and remembering these charges. So when an atom gives away electrons, it gets a positive charge. How much positive? As many electrons as it is giving. And if this atom takes electrons, it will get a negative charge. And this negative charge, how much negative charge? As many electrons as it has accepted. Okay. So this is how you can remember how much positive or negative charge an atom can have. Okay. Coming to case 2 now. Case 2. An atom is having two electrons in the last shell. Now this atom has two electrons. Again, there are two situations possible. Either it will gain six electrons from somewhere else or it will lose two electrons. Now again, I think the case is quite clear that this atom will give away these two electrons and get a charge of, yes, plus 2 since it is giving away two electrons. I hope this is clear. Next case is case number 3. This atom has got 3 electrons in the last shell. Again, losing 3 would be easier than gaining 5. I hope you agree. This atom will now have a charge of plus 3. Case 4. A little complicated case. Why? Because this atom has got 4 electrons in the last shell. So it's like, a confusing game. Having 4 electrons in the last shell, it can either lose 4 or it can gain 4. Now, see, children, whatever salary we have, whatever we earn, can you think of donating 50% of your salary to someone as gift? I'm sure you won't, right? We cannot give away 50% of salary. So, what is this atom going to do? This atom is going to share and care. This atom is going to achieve its stable configuration by sharing electrons. Because it is equally difficult for this atom to give away 50% of its, share of electrons and equally difficult for some other atom to give 4 electrons. So these atoms, they will share. They will share this atom. And I will deal with this sharing of electrons in my next video, not here right now. Coming to case 5. Case 5 is having 5 electrons in the last shell. Now, of course, this atom will gain 3 because gaining 3 is easier than losing 5. Deal is very simple, okay? This atom, by gaining 3, will develop a charge of minus 3. What are the examples of these? Nitrogen. It has 5 electrons in the last shell, so once its ion is formed, it is N minus 3. Okay. Also, if I go back to plus 3 state, aluminium plus 3, 2 plus calcium, zinc, all of these atoms will form 2 plus ions by losing 2 electrons, losing 3 aluminium, sharing 4 is the case of carbon, silicon. These atoms have 4 electrons in the last shell, so they will share their 4 electrons and they will have a valency of just 4. Not plus, not minus, because they are neither losing it nor they are gaining them. Case 5, minus 3, nitrogen, I've already given you the example. Case 6, this atom has got 6 electrons in the last shell. Of course, it will gain 2, and such is the case with oxygen. It forms a minus 2 ion. Okay, so again, losing 6 is not an option in this case. Coming to the next case, case 7, having 7 electrons in the last shell. Of course, again, this gain 1 electron. Fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. All of these atoms have got 7 electrons in their last shell, and they will not lose 7, but rather they will gain 1 electron and they will get a charge of -1. Last case, having 8 electrons in the last shell. Oh my god, this atom is born with a silver spoon. It actually does not have to do anything. It is already stable. Now, if it is already stable, do you think it will participate in any reaction? Answer is no. Such cases are called noble gas configuration. They are totally non-reactive kids. They will not react. They will stay the way they are. They will stay in their atomic form and they will roam around freely. They don't have to do anything. They are the ones, having a silver spoon in their mouth. Okay, so now a very important question comes. Who is more stable, atom or ions? Of course, children, ions are more stable. Why? Because now they have achieved their octet rule. Octet rule, which was the only rule which defines their stability. This atom said that if I have this octet rule achieved, I will be very stable. And to achieve this rule, this atom is ready to form ions. They can be positive ions, they can be negative ions. Positive if they give electrons, negative if they gain electrons. Okay? Giving is positive, gaining is negative. You don't have to take anything from anyone else as a favor. That's a very negative thing to do. So, many questions come on this concept. Now, I think it should be a piece of cake for you. Which out of Na plus or Na is more stable? I'm sure you know the answer. Na plus is going to be more stable because it has now achieved its octet rule. It has lost 1 electron and the last shell is now empty, and this atom is absolutely happy with its empty last shell. So it will have a positive charge on its atom, and it is now finally an ion, which is more stable. Why argon is called inert gas? Because it has got 8 electrons already in the last shell. Again, born with a silver spoon, it actually does not need to do anything. It is already having 8 electrons. Octet rule is already achieved. That's why this is called an inert gas. And so, in this way, you can solve many questions. If there are still any doubts left, you can ask me in the chat box. I will be happy to answer. So, see you in my next video where I am going to help you in learning ions by introducing certain families and making chemistry really easy for you.